We're going to talk about the benefits involved, the different types of packs that are involved. So I'm just going to skip through some of these things because I want to really get down to the nitty-gritty. Now, you can partake in this for as little as 100 USDT. That'll actually give you this pack, the Academy pack, and you'll be able to earn off your direct referrals, but you won't be able to earn anything else. So if your referrals refer other people or you've already built a team, this is not for you. You want to advance at least to the minimum of the $500 pack. And you have to get the $100 pack as well. So every founder's pack you get, you need to add the $100 pack as well. So it'll be $600 here. Important thing to note is there is a lot of calls to action here. As I said yesterday, there are only 400,000 of these $500 packs. Once they've gone, they're gone. They're not going to change it and add more. Each of these different founder packs is only a certain amount. And so you need to be sensitive to that this is not a time to snooze, not a time to overanalyze. It's a time to work out, what do I need to do to get from A, where I am, where I'm probably not happy, to B, where I prefer to be, and living the life that I really wanted to live, not the one I actually put up with and suffer right now. Then we upgrade to the $2,000 pack, and you only pay the difference between the last one you paid and this one if you're upgrading. And again, there's only 100,000 of these packs, okay, at the $2,000 level. At the $8,000 level, there are only 25,000. And again, if you're upgrading from 2,000 to 8,000, you're going to pay the $6,000 difference. But there's only 25,000 of these. Once they've gone, they're gone. The 25K, there's only 8,000 of those. Now, we've got 230,000 people in the actual community. Doesn't take much to understand that this crowdfund project could reach its full goal in less than the 6 months that they've set aside for it. It could well happen within a month or 2 months or 3 months. So you don't have time to sit there and actually procrastinate if you really want to capitalize on this. The 50K pack, there's only 4,000 of those. And the 100K, there's only 2,000 of those, and there's already a number of those that have already gone. Now, each of these founders packs comes with growing benefits. As Ilya shared in that call yesterday, it's like the actual Russian doll. You know the Russian doll where you've got the bigger doll, inside is the next downsized doll, and the next one. So it's basically got 6 little dolls inside it. And the same here, we've got different packs that starting from the base level that come with different benefits. What are those benefits? Well, the first thing is you get these nodes. It's like a minting machine. You know, we understand that if I was a treasury of gold coins and we were minting into circulation those coins, we grasp that visual image. It's the same here. We've got digital minting machines, these nodes that mint into circulation the token or the cryptocurrency that has to be used for every transaction and process in this ecosystem that we are funding. What are we funding? We're funding the development of an actual blockchain ecosystem that's going to allow all these things for the football industry to happen, to have our own clubs, our own training facilities, as far as the players and player contracts and media rights and sports sciences and all these things. And all these things are going to be based around blockchain technology. That's how we're going to transform this industry that's been governed by a very small group of people, actually democratize it and allow you to own a piece of a football stadium as far as a training facility, all these players, media rights, health sciences, and a lot more. You may not be the actual billionaire who can afford to actually buy a club, but now you can have a part of one. And we'll have our own clubs, our own training facilities, our own up-and-coming talent that we're going to be nurturing and ultimately reaping the rewards. So you see, with each pack, you're getting additional nodes. That's like as far as a printing press that's pumping out daily more and more of these tokens that you can either hold on to as they actually appreciate in value. So you're looking at this and going, will this project have potential upside? Well, it's got actually backing by the Brazilian government at a government level. The sports minister and many other high-ranking politicians have given their rubber stamp behind this project. They've offered over 1,500 ash football fields towards this project. We've got a third party valuation from a global company who does this, who's already valued the technology we have right now, today, not the future, today, at over $1 billion. There's actually a copyright that comes with that, which means that anybody who tries to copy this concept or aspects of our blockchain ecosystem would be in breach of an international copyright, which means they can't do it. So we have exclusivity to this. On stage in Dubai, we had 40 plus iconic football stars who played for World Cup games. They played for countries, played for leading soccer clubs around the world. I'm not a big soccer fan, but I love watching a good game. But the people who are in the know of all these players were blown away that 50 iconic players were on stage putting their brand behind this. So we get a chance to partake in all this. So what I was getting at is, will this token have value? Yes, because we've got government backing, third-party valuation. We're already in the process. This has had already 18 months of development, over $30 million put into it. The actual IT development team has close to 300 blockchain programmers developing our own blockchain, our own ecosystem. It's a bit like Elon Musk with his Tesla factory. He said, I don't want to be dependent upon other people to build my motor vehicles. I want to control the manufacturing as much as I possibly can. The same here. We're not putting a brand on somebody else's product. This is something that our technical team is developing from the ground up. This is our in-house technology. And in fact, the project, the people behind this is over 1,000 employees in total that are involved in developing this whole ecosystem. You'll see in the third column, there's digital rewards. So as you increase the various founder pack that you upgrade to, you get access to the token, the Atla coin. You get part of the fee generation for validating transactions. How do you think MasterCard, Visa, Amex, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and all these other payment systems become multi-billion-dollar companies? Because they make fees on every transaction. This morning, we went to a restaurant at breakfast. I swiped my card. Guess what? MasterCard's making some money. The bank's making some money. We understand that fees are generated in all the financial ecosystems around the world. Well, in our ecosystem, there's also fees being generated, and you can share in that. Blockchain Explorer fees. So people are searching through our blockchain and taking advantage of different systems. Wallet transactions, where we're moving tokens and funds between wallets, where we're moving funds from different blockchains. So our particular blockchain is at the highest level, and we'll be able to engage and interact with the Ethereum, Polygon, other blockchains. Again, I'm not a highly technical person, but I can relate it to the fact that our blockchain is going to be able to interact with as many other blockchains and projects as possible, and that generates fees as well. And we've got our own decentralized exchange, rather than an exchange that's changing, fiat to crypto and crypto to crypto and crypto back to fiat, and some private companies getting all the profits. Those profits are being shared amongst us, and exchanges are very big revenue generators. And guess what? As you advance from one pack to the next, you're getting a share of that. And in addition, we're getting real life business royalties, because you may talk to some people about nodes and minting and blockchain, and they're rolling their eyes over and going, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But I bet they can relate to income that you get from owning a football club, for the training facilities that nurture up and coming players, that the actual royalties that come from these players, the transfer fees and the sign-on fees that happen, the royalties from sports science and performance technology. I mean, picking which player these days is coming down to science. They're looking at their blood count, their actual, as far as their DNA, as far as their brain activity, their actual reaction time, and they're now selecting players not only on their actual determination and talent and their history, but what is their physical makeup at all those levels, and analyzing whether somebody's more suited to a single person sport like a tennis or golf, or as far as a team sport, for example. So this is big, big business. Royalties from research and development as we develop technologies to track soccer players and other athletes. So, for example, to look at how a soccer player actually strikes the ball and analyze that technique and see if we can make it better and actually more effective with less effort. As far as recovery and stretching and all sorts of things, and royalty from gaming and entertainment, as far as the metaverse and virtual games. So it's a huge industry. Again, I'm not a gamer. My son's actually develops games. He's got lots of IT degrees, and he's into that world since he was 12 years of age. It's not my thing, but I understand it's a multi-billion dollar industry. So we can talk to everyday people who understand the actual physicality of real estate, media rights, contracts, as well as these digital benefits. And we get to partake in different aspects of the referral plan. From the first thing is, people often say, how do I get my money back? How do I get to a stage where I can actually recoup what I put in? So I'm now playing with house money. I'm not playing with my own money. Well, they designed a founder's rebate bonus, which I'll talk more about, where you can get back your full contribution. So whatever level you can't upgrade to, even up to the $100,000 level, you can potentially get that back in full, in addition to all the rewards you would have got anyway. And we've got 10 levels of actual referral as far as the referral plan, which can actually pay you on a lot more than that because of the way it's actually been designed. And breakage bonus pool, what does that mean? Well, in most actual referral pay plans, there's a lot of commissions that are not paid out because of the way the plan is designed. And often that's kept by the company, or it's what the company needs to be profitable. But in this situation, the founders have decided to give it all back to us. So they're taking all the unpaid commissions and actually distributing that back to us, the community, through various bonus pools. And in addition, a share of all the revenue from all these real world assets and all these virtual blockchain assets is going to be distributed back through us as well. I'll talk more about that. Okay, so what's in it for you? That's the primary question that most people ask. Well, you get tokens from the node minting. People are going to say to you, well, what's that worth? We can't tell you. We can't tell you what that's worth because that would be improper, because not just like I can't predict the price of Ethereum or Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. That the blockchain hasn't been launched yet. It's in development. In the next few months, the actual testing phase of that will go live, and around September, they're looking to launch this. So this is not about looking at this like the Endotech project where you're putting some funds in and looking for some outcome the next day and it comes in every single day. It's not that sort of project. These tokens will start minting this week if you purchase the founder packs. These nodes will start to produce these tokens, but you won't be able to immediately cash them in because that's not how this works. You're going to get tokens that you can actually accumulate, and there'll be a point when you can actually liquidate them if you want to, or hold on to them. But that can grow in value. We can't tell you what they're worth, but on the law of actually supply and demand, there's a limited supply of these tokens. And guess what? The only tokens that'll be available to the public for the first 18 months, which they need to engage with our blockchain, are the ones that we've received from our minting. So think about that. If we owned all the gold coins and the only gold that was allowed to be in circulation around the world that the public could go and buy was owned by us, how cool is that? So they're not going to dump a whole lot of their own tokens on the market to actually compete with ours. For the first 18 months, if somebody wants these tokens, they've got to buy it off the actual community. That increases the actual demand, and there's a limited supply, which means it's going to put good price pressure on that as well. You've got these blockchain ecosystem digital rewards. As people, do a blockchain searches and move funds from wallet to wallet, the exchange, I went through all this with you, that there's going to be a whole series of digital rewards. Again, we can't tell you exactly what that's going to be per day because we don't know, because the blockchain hasn't gone live yet, but it's an ongoing revenue stream. And it's all going to come down to how many people are transacting, how many people of these applications are actually live and working at that period of time. But it's a growing project that has a real long-term life. We've got real-world project revenue share. So as we get players actually signed up and they transfer to clubs and all the media deals are done and every other area of revenue generation, you basically get a share of that, and it's coming back to us. These are real world rewards. I mean, when have you ever got anything back from a football club as far as a training facility, player contracts, player club transfer fees? None of us, have we? And you got the referral commissions. That's another benefit. So the first three are sort of the passive benefits, and the last one is your active one. Now, where does the blockchain sports revenue go? How does it get split? So all the revenue from this ecosystem, from the virtual and the real world revenue streams, 40% of all the revenue is distributed back through the Founders Pack owners. So we, as owners of the Founders Pack, we share in 40% of all the revenue. So if one of these players signs a contract for Arsenal or actually Manchester United or Liverpool, if I've insulted a few people on the call today, bear with me. I'm not a big soccer fan. But regardless of which club you support, we know some of those contracts are worth a lot of money. They can range from tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what? Imagine a $100 million contract where 40% came back through the community. Sort of mind-boggling stuff, isn't it? 10% will go through the pay plan. So 10% of all the profits will go through the pay plan. That's an ongoing passive income that's only available to founding pack members. And 50% of that goes to blockchain sports. Obviously, they're in this to make money. They created the concept. They're developing all the technology. They developed their actual relationships with governments and clubs and so forth. And without them, we have nothing to market. So now I want to talk about how do you get your money back. So no matter what pack you've got, but I've given an example here. If you purchased a $100,000 pack, or you upgraded over the next 6 months from 500 to 2,000 to 8,000 to 25,000 to 50,000, all the way to 100,000, and you just had 2 referrals who did at least a $500 pack each, guess what? You are now qualified to get back your 100,000. Just think about that for a minute. How good is that? How many opportunities have you been in where there's a fund where you get your money back, not out of your own actual commissions, not out of your own profits, but a separate fund that's put aside to specifically help you get back your contributions? How does that work? Well, out of that $100,000 pack, 40% is spread through the referral pay plan. Okay, so there's 10 levels of referral, so effectively 4% per level. 10% goes to Limitless and blockchain sports for operationals, to run events and other costs that are associated with just running the businesses. 25% of this goes into trade, where the trading team that are working with Endotech and their AI are going to take that 25% of all the Founders Pack revenue and generate trading profits. And when that trading profit hits 400% of the total, so for example, if we did $2 billion we raised $2 million and we did 8 billion, sorry, and we did 2 billion in profit. So in other words, let's say we did 2 billion, 500 million will be in trade. But that 500 million grows to 2 billion, then we're going to pay, well, they're going to pay everyone back. So, and then at the end of that, that funds that were traded, they go to blockchain sports because it was their money. So what they're doing is they're giving up half of their revenue into a fund to be traded to help you and me get our money back. That should say something about the heart of the pill behind this project. Because that, again, I've been in this industry full time for 34 years now, and I have not seen that happen ever. And of course, the other 25% does go to blockchain sports to help them accomplish all of their goals, because we've got some pretty ambitious goals. When you're developing football clubs, training centers, and all the things that go along with that, it requires big amounts of funds. Now let's look at the unilevel plan. We have 10 levels of referral. So level 1 is the people that you have personally referred into the actual community. Level 2 is who those people have referred. Level 3 is who they've referred. And so 10 levels. Now, if you come in with a $500 level, you'll get, so whatever pack you come in with, you'll always get 4% on your direct referral. So if somebody comes in with 100,000, you get 4,000 straight away. Pretty good. So it doesn't matter what pack level you're at. If you get a $2,000 pack, it means that whatever levels you're qualified for, you now get at least 3% on every level that you are qualified for. If you come in with the $8,000 pack, you would get 4,000. But you might say, well, look, Michael, I can only do 500. So am I disadvantaged? No, you're not. Because if you qualify for level 4 based on your personal referral volume, which is 5,000 volume, then you can also get the 3%. So you can either buy the pack or do the work. The same with the 8,000. If you meet as far as the qualification to get paid on level 5, you don't have to have the 8,000 pack. You could have the $500 pack, but build the team volume. So by building your personal referral volume or building your team volume, you can still qualify for the maximum 4% per generation, which is very generous. Now, I want to talk about breakage and how it works. So see here in the green is you. So let's say you make a purchase. What the system does, it looks and says, who's the person who referred you? Your referrer. They're level 1 above you. They earn 4%. Who introduced them? That's the system looks upline and pays the next person 4% if they're qualified. And it looks up until it's able to distribute through 10 levels of referral all the way up to 4% per generation. So there's a total of 40% that's allocated to be distributed through 10 qualified levels of referral. Everyone got that? But let's say that you were actually 4 levels direct to the founders. I'm actually level 1 to the founders. So there's nobody above me apart from Ilya and Edward. Now, in this example, I've got 4 levels of people before I get to the top of the referral community. Okay, so the person who enrolled this person will get 4%. The person who enrolled them could get 4%. The person who enrolled them could get 4%, and the person above them, and that's the final person. So what happens to the rest of the 24%? The 6 other generations? Well, that's breakage. That's normally unpaid referral commission that would go to the project founders or the company. In this situation, that 24%. So let's say it's a $100,000 pack. That means that basically $24,000 has now gone into the breakage pools divided by the 3 pools. So there'll be 8,000 going into each of the 3 pools. So you understand now what they mean by breakage. Breakage essentially means that any unpaid referral commission in this unilevel pay plan is put into those pools and given back to you. The founders could, well within their rights, just keep that for themselves. They're in this to make money too, but they're giving it back to you and I. And you get those breakage pool payments for 30 consecutive days. And I can tell you it's very, very lucrative. I'll give you an example in a minute. Now, here's an example of compression. You may have heard the term that we've got a 10-level unilevel plan with dynamic compression. Now, we've actually developed software over many years that designs these referral pay plans, so I understand this very well, but I want to break it down for you so you understand. So here's an example of you in the green. You buy a $100,000 pack. Your referrer will get the $4,000. The 4% is always paid to the referrer. Now, if they started with 500, you get 4%. If they upgraded to 2,000, you'll get 4% on the 1,600. If they upgraded to 8,000, you get 4% on the 6,000, and so on. The person on level 2 in this example is not qualified to earn on level 2. So the system will skip them and look for the next person who is qualified. The next person who's qualified for level 2 is the person on the 3rd level of referral. So it's going to pay them. Who's the next person who's qualified for level 3? Well, it's not the person on level 4. They're not qualified either. It's the person on level 5 levels above that is actually qualified. So you can see here the system looks and says, who's qualified for 2 levels, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and pays to them. So in this example, the 10 levels has been distributed all the way up to somebody who's 14 levels above. That's why we're saying to you, you could potentially be earning on people that are 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 levels below you as it compresses out all the people who are not qualified to earn on that level. So the sooner that you qualify for the higher levels, the more you're picking up the dynamic compression and picking up those commissions that would otherwise go to breakage, for example. Now, you know there's 3 breakage pools. The first one is what we call the rising star breakage pool. How does it work? So what pack do you need to earn this? Any pack from 500 plus. You don't need to have a bigger pack. As long as you've got a $500 pack and the 100, you're qualified. Now, to get 1 share, you need to have, that should be personal referral volume, not team volume, so my typo. If you have 5,000 of personal referral volume, you actually qualify for 1 share. And all the breakage in real time, so every time a transaction occurs and there's breakage in the actual commission payout, it's immediately actually distributed to everyone. If you had 10,000 of referral volume, the people that you've referred personally, with no more than 50% from any one person, so in other words, I couldn't have more than 5,000 from one person, I get 1 more share. I can ultimately get 5 shares. So if I had 25,000 in direct referral volume, I can now qualify for 5 shares of this rising star breakage pool. The second pool is what they call the champions breakage pool. And it works like this. Again, as long as you have a 500 pack or above, so I only need 500 or above, your first, once you get to 25,000 in team volume with no more than half in one leg, so you can't have more than 12,500 in one leg, you get 1 share. When your total team volume with no more than 50,000 from one leg gets to 100,000, they give you an extra 4 shares. So now you've got 5. When you get to $250,000 in volume, they give you an extra 10. Now you've got 15. And when you get to $500,000 in your team with no more than 250,000 in one leg, you get an extra 20. So you got 35 shares. Now, I can tell you someone I brought in yesterday, they brought in 2 people with 25,000 each. They only have a $500 pack. So they got a $500 pack themselves, but they managed to have 2 people to bring in that at 25,000 each. So that person qualified for the maximum 5 shares of the rising star pool, and they got their 1 share of this. This was actually about 20 hours ago, roughly, and there's already more than $8,000 USDT that they've earned from these breakage pools. I'll say that again. They came with 500. They brought in 2 people, 25K each. They qualified for 5 shares of the Rising Star, the 1 share of the Champions breakage pool. They're totally new to blockchain, totally new to network marketing, never done it before. It's all brand new. Took a punt, worked with me to bring some people in, and they've made over 8,000 USDT in their less than 24 hours. Probably could get close to 10,000 in their first 24 hours. Think about that. He's put in 500. He's made 10,000 because he just got busy with a couple of people. When Jeremy said these pools are lucrative, he wasn't joking. The Legends breakage pool, the top one, when you do 1 million in volume in your team, you get 1 share. If you do 2 million, you get an extra 2 shares, so a total of 3. If you do 5 million in your team, over the whole period, folks, over the whole 6 months, it's possible. Trust me. That will give you 5 permanent shares. That means 5 permanent shares of the breakage for the life of this program.